Ted Cruz of Texas. Senator, thank you for being on.
Senator, great to have you.
Good morning.
Great to have you here. You're an attorney and certainly can read testimony. I was saying this morning that the Leahy question and answer wasn't as troubling because, of course, it was about campaign. Are you concerned, though, about the Al Franken questioning and answering where Sessions seemed to volunteer that he had never spoken with any Russian officials?
You know, Joe, I'm not concerned about that. I think what we're seeing is a lot of political theater. Could Jeff have been more clear in what he said? Yes. I think that was unfortunate, but I think context matters a lot. Jeff was being asked about the Trump campaign communicating with the Russians. I think he understood that he was answering it in that capacity, and that is perfectly understandable. And the reason I say it's political theater is the underlying meeting. You know, this morning everyone's in high dudgeon about this meeting. The underlying meeting is a nothing burger. It's what senators do every day, meeting with foreign ambassadors. That's part of the job, and Jeff was a very hard-working senator. He'll be a very hard-working attorney general. And so I think everyone's getting all worked up because it's a chance to beat up the attorney general and beat up the president. But I think the underlying meeting is simply doing his job.
Senator Cruz, it's Willie Geist. It's good to see you. You also sit on the Armed Services Committee with Senator Sessions. Did you meet with the Russian ambassador last summer?
You know, I didn't, but it's interesting. And when this story broke last night, I asked my team to just pull up the calendar for January and February of this year. And I met with 6 different ambassadors in the last 2 months. That's part of being a senator. And, you know, a minute ago, Joe was asking, well, gosh, you know, when Al Franken was questioning Jeff Sessions, and Jeff Sessions was saying that as the Trump campaign as a surrogate, he didn't meet with Russia. You know, I'm willing to bet Al Franken has met with a great number of ambassadors. I'm also willing to bet that when Al Franken meets with foreign ambassadors, he didn't consider it the Hillary campaign meeting with them. Al Franken was supporting Hillary Clinton. He was a surrogate for Hillary Clinton. But when he's doing his job as a senator, he's not a representative of the campaign. I think the same was exactly true for Jeff Sessions when he was doing his job as a senator.
But, Senator, we are talking about the Russian ambassador in the middle of all these questions surrounding links between the Trump campaign and the government of Russia. Why specifically did you, and according to all the reporting, no other member of the Armed Services Committee, not seek a meeting with the Russian ambassador?
Well, listen, by and large, I haven't sought meetings with ambassadors. Typically, they call the office and want to talk with me. And, you know, if the Russian ambassador had called and asked for a meeting, I imagine I probably would have taken the meeting. And that's part of the job. But I can't recall an instance where I've reached out to an ambassador and said, let's do a meeting. But different countries want to come by. They want to discuss different issues they're concerned about. That's part of doing your job. When you're on the Armed Services Committee, I'm on the Armed Services Committee. I served with Jeff. I'm on the Judiciary Committee. I served with Jeff. And, you know, one of the things that's important, you know, you see Democratic politicians this morning coming out and blasting Jeff and saying things like that this was misleading. You know, many of us have served with Jeff for years, sometimes decades in the Senate. Jeff Sessions is a man of integrity. He's a man of candor. I don't know any senator who served with Jeff Sessions, Democrat or Republican, who would say that Jeff has been anything less than totally honest. Now, they don't like that he's a conservative. You know, the Democrats don't like Jeff as a conservative, but he is very open and honest about his views. And by the way, Jeff has been a serious critic of Russia. He's not been shy calling out Putin. So the notion that there was something somehow wrong with a senior senator on the Armed Services Committee meeting with a foreign ambassador, I think that's a nothing burger.